No difference between them. The difference is, since a woman cannot be married to two men, she's not a woman to two people. She's not holy, not proper, not ready to be seen. The man can be married to two men. Chosi is proper to two men. So therefore, he means to say to her, if I want to marry another man, I'll marry. What exactly the answer is? So Rashi explains, we said Rashi. I'm reading Rashi. Rashi says, it's not possible for a woman to marry two men. It's not possible. He doesn't explain why. He takes it as a fact that a woman cannot marry two men. And Rashi says, therefore, that's the point of the Gemara's answer.
Rashi's talking about a woman cannot marry a whole woman, not
a whole woman. Can marry two men. So therefore, by the definition, when he said half, he meant Ilka. Therefore, this man, when he said half, he really meant half. And the other and the other half is left over to another person. Because if he's Mishar Bekinyono, because the other half has been left over to somebody else. She's not Mikodesh, it is, again. If it wasn't that a woman is being cannot be married to, I would say when he meant Chetzi, he doesn't mean Chetzi physically. Chetzi means conceptually, that she will marry another man. Two men she'll be married. But since she cannot marry two men, the whole woman cannot marry two men. So therefore, when she say Chetzi, she meant physically only complete Chetzi, only for one man. So really that part that she's Miskadesh is not two people, it's only one man. The problem is, since we say the Chetzi means really physically Chetzi, in order to be one half pure for one man, completely 100% one man, comes out that she's only marrying physically only Chetzi, only half, and the other half is left over. Nish or le'acher, and Mishar B'Kinyon. This is the way he read Rashi.
You say in English?
But what?
Could say in English the end of Rashi?
So the Rashi says, since she have to explain that she meant half purely for one man, and the other half she left over. She's not Mekudeshes. Because the Torah says Isha v'lechetz Isha.
Well, you can marry another man. If he's saying that, then it's something like that. Rashi explaining.
Yes. Okay. Says cannot be that it means if you won't marry another man because she cannot marry another man. What?
It didn't say she meant this and that another thing.
It says that. I lo kodesh le pounder. No, what does she say?
She meant this and that another thing.
You can't say this.
You don't say what.
Since she cannot marry two men, so it cannot be the whole woman for two men. When she says chetzi, chetzi means my whole self, I'm going to devote half for you, but not physically in her body half. It means devotion to dividing what?
She is now 150. You already had a case, and there's other cases like exactly.
So they explain those cases, but that's what Rashi says here. Rashi says here, what?
What does he say? What did he say? If there's no Xeris or custom, so why can you not marry? Why can't you?
No, Xeris or custom says Isha, Chetzi v'chetzi Isha, Xeris or custom. Isha v'lechetzi Isha. On both sides.
A swara, why you apply Xeris custom in one case and one case not? It has to be a swara behind it without the Xeris custom. Subtracting Xeris custom, there has to be a swara that tells you some.
Who says? He's saying a rule. I know so a rule. A rule is a woman cannot be married to two men, and the man can be married to two women. You do need, because by a man, that since he can marry two women, so when he said chetzi, he didn't mean chetzi body. You take the word literally or not literally. That's what she says. What do you want?
Look like he's saying that it's based.
Doesn't look. The word doesn't look doesn't mean anything. Show me look.
I think.
Explain why it doesn't mean.
Trying to explain that.
Other Rishonim have different explanation.
Explaining has to do with the meaning.
Other Rishonim have different meaning. We'll see in a second.
I think that from the answer that
yes.
to Abaye, in the case of the Beati Kamala, the Baina,
yes. Yes.
One case, so that's the Kabbalah in the other case. When Rashi explained,
a man, he can marry two women. He called Allah. You heard the word of the Yosef Chaim. He called Allah. Which means we explain the words. Exactly. So by a man that can marry two women, he called Allah. This is what he told her. I want to marry another man. Means two people. Rashi says very clearly. Rashi says the word ilkach. He says, ilkach, therefore, that's the reason for that. Ilkach, like the simple meaning. Hetzi simply means hetzi body. So he's saying, I am man, I can explain that. By a woman, I follow the normal meaning. Not to say he meant. This is the word meant because that's what it means. That's what it says. But we have a reason to explain that's what he said. We don't have a force to say that he meant not literally. Therefore, there's no force to say otherwise. You follow the simple meaning. Now, if you look in Toisas Riazokim, it's in page 4. Look in page 4. Page 4. Look in page 4. Below the last 3 lines on the page. Toisas Riazokim Kiddush Dam Zayin Amud Aleph. A woman, she's not proper, not holy for 2 men. So Rashi says, the Eishes Ish Asur La'acher. Married woman, she's prohibited another man. Which means he giving us why a woman cannot marry 2 men. Because she's a married woman. And how can it be a married woman? A married woman is prohibited La'acher to another man. It is as if she said, marry me into another person. That cannot mean.
Wait, just a minute. That's not it could be. It could be because the second man she's married to is also her married to her. So she's not. It's not another man. It's a husband. She's permitted to both husbands.
Yes. The Avele Kemandoma is as if he said, which means what? That cannot be. Because a married woman cannot be married. She's prohibited to another man.
Yeah, but what's not another man? It's another husband. And she's permitted to each husband. Why not?
No, she's not.
But the husband is not another man.
If a man tells a woman, I'm marrying you and I'm allowing you to be married to another person, that marriage is permitted or not?
Yeah, because all the kids are bastards.
Right. So it doesn't work.
Oh, gotta be.
Doesn't work.
Why?
What?
No, he's just so something.
What? You could be.
Again, what Toshis Gazokin changed or gave us new information, which Rashi didn't give us. Rashi said that a woman of to two people, she's not Roy. It's a fact. She's not Roy to two men. He didn't explain why. Toshis Gazokin explains why. Because if the woman, she gets married to one, she becomes an Eishes Ish. And the Torah in Chumash Pashas Emoir tells us, Erva, a married woman cannot be to another man. Right? Lo Yisach Mod Eishes Recho. Cannot be with another man. Eishes Recho is also the Erva. A married woman cannot be to another person. So Rashi didn't say a woman to two men, she's not possible because of Yisrael Eishes.
It's the Gemara says that.
Where?
The answer no problem.
It's a woman. Rambam says a woman to two men is not holy. Why not? Yesha, not possible. Because of the pasuk. Because of the pasuk of Erva, that Eisha, she's prohibited another man. So he meant chetzi, and not for both. Or no, you can say it's a more fundamental smoke. Instead of bringing a pasuk of Eishes Ish as Erva, you can say Misvah, because since it's more fundamental, right? If you check around the world, all animals, all birds, all human beings around the world, a woman marries two men, or one man marries two women. Who's the ruler and who is the Mi Ashoilet, Mi Amelech, who?
Yeah, but not the bears, for example.
The charge.
Yeah.
By monkeys?
Lions.
Lion, no. The lion.
One king.
Very good. But that's the husband, that's the man. You don't have a woman married to many women. No, that's not true.
Monkeys in charge. They have many different husbands. Whoever, every time they have whoever husband beats up all the other husbands, that's the husband.
Good. So he beats up all the husband and he's now the rule, they get the woman. And he's the shoilet. But who is the shoilet?
Women run a society and have many husbands.
Again?
They used to be like hundreds of thousands of years ago.
100,000 years ago?
Hundreds of thousands of years ago.
What is hundreds of thousands of years ago? What? Yes.
On the forests and stuff.
Yes.
And the women would run the tribe. They'd go to war, they'd get the food, and the husband.
Oh, yeah, that's
They had like.
okay. But I want to say, besides those places, weird wacko places, the whole civilization of the world and animals are what? You have a man runs, and even by monkeys, he said. You have the monkey that beats up all the other monkeys. He's now the ruler, and he has the privilege to be the husband of this woman.
She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, but he's saying the strongest one that runs all the other monkeys, he wins and takes her. It's the same thing. The strong, and the ruler is the man. Yeah, I'm answering you. I know what you read the books, but he has a wacko that wrote the book.
But anyway, The Rosh Yeshiva said that it's a technical issue, like you don't know who is the chief.
No. The Ramban says, the Ramban says in Chumash Bereshis, when the Torah says, after the woman ate from Eitz Hadas and she gave to her husband, it says, "V'hu yimshol bach." He would rule you. The Ramban says, is measure for measure. She degraded him, she put him down, she brought death on him. Comes the Ramban, he says, measure for measure. Now the woman, she's a masochist. He was a masochist. He says, no slave are searching and pushing and desiring to have a master on him. But a woman's nature to search and to push, and she enjoys to have an odoin aleh, or the master on her. That's V'hu yimshol bach. The curse is that she would want to have a master over her.
What is the reality?
There's a reality.
Sometimes it's
No.
and what other when
With all the afuch, in the end, the woman wants a ruler. That's a fundamental. The woman wants a ruler. About once somebody said, Mashiach times is coming up, and we have a tikkun achet avodah marishoy. Men and our women are equal. Men are not anymore. He said, no. All those equal rights women are sharp tongues, big mouth, self-centered girls, women. They're not unsatisfied women. That's my father used to say all the time. Why they're unsatisfied? They're not married. They got beaten up from husband. They had some problems in their lives. All those troubled women, which unsatisfied women, and they go scream, "We human rights, we human rights." You can't even come in near them. They're just self-centered, big mouth, sharp tongues, egotistical, self-centered women, because all of them have problems in their life. But the nature of a normal woman is no problems. Nobody touched her and killed her, and raped her and abused her. Who knows what her parents abused her? None of those crazy things. Normal woman, she as Ramban says, "V'hu yimshol bach, v'lo yimotzinu." We don't find that an Eved is searching, a slave is searching to have a master, run someone away from the master. And here, she wants the Meshilus. She wants the man to control her. So this is maybe what Rashi said. Rashi's not saying like the Tosfos Hazokin, a woman cannot marry two men because Isur Eshes Ish.
Would you say that word was, that means that? Now, a woman wants a throne over her?
Yes.
Term for that?
Isha oitzo odoin la'atzmo. Simple in Hebrew.
I thought you said some term I never heard.
No, this is what Rashi says. Rashi says, "V'hu yimshol bach." The Torah says he would rule over you. That's what the Ramban says. Look at the Ramban Parshas Bereshis. I saw it. V'hu yimshol bach. She wants an odoin. It's crazy. She's a masochist. Not masochist. That's Hashem. After the Secheh, that's what he made that nature. Created her that she wants a master.
So Rashi saying that it's a smaller problem and doesn't read the text.
1 second, I want to explain, finish this smaller. If the woman wants an odoin, so then she cannot have two odoin, because there's no two kings in one crown. They contradict. If I'm the king, nobody else can be the king. If somebody else is not the king. It's a stira. So therefore, Isha lebeitrei lo yichasi, not necessarily because Gzeras HaKosov of Ervo, the Tosfos Hazokin Deishish Isa Sur La'acher. Avel Keman Doma is Kachin V'La'acher. No. Nothing about the Isur Eshes Ish. Isha lebeitrei Yefshel mitzad the nature, because you cannot have two kings. Only one king. So made if that's true, so then Rashi's saying that since a woman cannot be married, Isha lebeitrei lo yichasi, Yefshel, not possible. It's more of a general rule, not a halachic rule. General rule. And I would say nature rule, which is a given rule all around the world by all animals, besides maybe monkeys. And even then, if you look deeper, it's the monkey that is the strongest, beat up everybody else. So he's the ruler. Okay, he's the ruler, and she's the queen, and she has she has beautiful body or whatever the monkey is, what it has. So then he bends to her. Maybe that's it. But Lemaise, he has to be a ruler, beat up everyone to be the one to be chosen. So that's the nature of women. Oh, big enough Kimina. No, before enough Kimina. Before enough Kimina. Yes, go ahead. I'm going to read the Rashi again. Read the Rashi again. Rashi says as follows. The Gemara says that Rove answered Abaye. And he answered, Isis elebeitrei ochiyashta. Omar le ochiyashta. I'm reading back in the Gemara. Omar le ochiyashta. Here now. Osam there, Isis elebeitrei lochazi. There, woman, the two people, she's not holy. Yefsha. Elo gavra milo yichozi lebeitrei, a man is not holy to two. V'achiko omar lo. So therefore, this is what he meant to say to her. If I want to marry another woman, I'll marry another woman, which means he's saying half doesn't mean half. It means that if I want to marry another woman fully, I'll devote myself fully to another woman. Not half his body, his whole body to another woman. But by a woman, you can't say a whole body to two men. Because a whole body to two men, Yefshar. Yefshar. Because it's two melochim, or Yefshar Yisur Shesish, like this is okay. So let's see now Rashi. Rashi says, Isa lebeitrei linos Elohim Yefshar. To be married to two men is not possible. Why Rashi jumps from kiddushin to marriage? I'm asking you a question. Why Rashi jumps from kiddushin to marriage? Isa lebeitrei lo yichaz, you can say liiskadesh l'shneim, because Yishu es hashish. Why Rashi talk about linose? Linose is marriage, not kiddushin. Oh, that's a problem. A woman cannot be with two men. No, the whole woman to be for two men, not possible. Because then there's a contradiction in the ruling of the husband. We said yesterday, if two men would live with her, who's going to baby belong to? So be a mamzer will be a bastard, a mamzer, a sufi shtuki. That's the Yefsha. But the state is against the Torah. Okay. I'd rather say Yefsha is something intrinsic. Nothing to do because of the children, and nothing to do because of the Taisa Sigazok and Isor Eshesish. Some Yefsha, Linose, to be married, you can't live for. What word Ilkach there for? What is it there for? But I understand that he wants to mafia the Achikomalo. We say Achikomalo, this is what he meant to say. We're changing from the menting of Chetzi to who an option to somebody else. Here we don't say Achikomalo, we say this is what he meant. Ilkach, that's all. Completely. Because if you want to have for himself and have for somebody else, he holds himself on the same way. Because the Torah says Tzisho. Tzisho, look at Tzisho. Tzisho, you don't have. Oh, you don't have. No. No. Kacho, it's Kacho also, but exactly as a consul works by, also by me. Says, you're right. She says, you're right. I'm going to have the exact as a consul in going to see. I say, look. Yes.
It's a result of the Nisui that, according to Rashi,
Yes.
because you cannot marry two men.
Yes.
The Kabbalah, when he say whatever he say, it's Palga.
It's what?
Palga.
By a woman.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's the reason is because he said.
Right. That's what Rashi didn't say. Don't need to cover. Rashi by a woman didn't say because you follow the story. Why? It's not possible to explain it conceptually. By a man, she can marry to a woman. We explain the word Betsy conceptually. It means that you can marry to a woman.
But in the man, in the woman, that we can't explain.
You can't explain conceptually. So therefore, Hetzi means Hetzi, and the other Hetzi I leave over for another man. So I'm do shiur b'ki, and therefore I'm a kodesh.
You can't make a shiur because
It says Hetzi. Torah says only tells you cannot mean the word Hetzi means conceptually, like by a man.
He says
That prevents you from explaining the word Hetzi conceptually. So therefore you're stuck with the simple meaning. Hetzi means physical Hetzi. And then the Pasuk says, Isha lechetzi Isha. Rava says, that's what I meant. Rava says, Iskachi lechetzi Kodesh, Hetzi Kodesh, Einu Kodesh, Kodesh says Hetzi. He only said that problem. Hetzi Ish, because you explain it doesn't mean literally Hetzi, it means conceptually. Simple. That same svara will be also constitutions against okay. The only difference is why she cannot marry to two men. Is it intrinsic svara in nature? Like Rashi says, no she cannot be married to men. Why two men can be? Relationship or cannot be two men.
But two things. First of all, according to Tosh's Ria Zucker,
yes,
he's a little bit in trouble because he's taking out from context the case of what Robert says.
Yeah.
The Gemara says,
yeah.
So why the Tosh is like saying,
no, where Tosh can change.
No,
let's only explain one thing. Why a woman cannot marry two men? Yes.
When he says married me and other, it's married me completely and another completely. He's taking out from context the
correct
of the Gemara because the Gemara says palga chetzayai. And Tosh says that it's like saying me and other men.
Right.
Okay,
read it. Read it. We only read half. Read the other half. It's in page 4. Page 4, we're reading Tosh again. Roy Chazer de Shasish Asur Lache. The Avele Commandoma is Katchili Velache. Ava, that's me. Ava. No כסף. מקודשת. וואי, לא שלוים. He didn't want to say the literal meaning I only have half. Another half, another woman. Sorry, man.
ניקח מישהו אחר, אקחנו, ותהיה אשתי.
את ואחרת. Can be total, my wife, total other woman. Yes. Yeah, but you see, there I'm explaining it literally, but here I'm explaining literally. There's no way. Hazard because it's reshis, has intrinsic. Okay.
I only want here, not more than here, no matter what. I don't care any of the women, I'm only one person here. Yeah.
Oh,
Work. If somebody says half of myself, and I mean to say half, my body, they say ish ish. That stays according to the maskon. So let's see now the other boy office. Let's see according to this, how are you going to explain the other boy office? Boy the other this is the second part of Ketzisha. We're not going to learn now. The Pshitas Kiddushin, the Kiddushin can explain or not how does it work. That we have to explain next part of the Sugya. And I'm going to read it now. Really, you might want to go to the other boys of all. I'm reading Daf Zayin Amud Aleph. Let the Kiddushin be spread in the entire body of water. And true, he cannot be meaning, when he said Chetzi, he cannot be meaning to say Chetzi Mamash. I'm reading in the Gemara. In Daf Zayin Amud Aleph, Marzutra, the son of Ramori, told Ravina, when he said Chetzi Isha, we said it means literally Chetzi. And he's Messiah another Chetzi, and the Torah says Isha like Chetzi Isha. He says, why? True, he said the word Chetzi, but the word Kiddushin, Niskachel Chetzi, has the power in those words to spread Tzadik Kedusha and Loshen of Hegdesh as a koyak in his ma'amur, in his words, to spread. Yesh koyak, that's Loshen of Rashi. There's a power in his words to spread. When I say Kedusha, Kedusha is something elastic. Kedusha can expand, can contract, can copy, you can matpiece to something else, right? You can copy it, one multiply it. Kedusha is something that is elastic. You can reform it and move it around. You can do a hamoro, you can do pidyoin, you can extend, you can nifsha, can expand, you can matpiece. You know the word matpiece, print. By Nedorim, by Shuras. What?
You always say copy and paste.
Copy and paste, right? Copy and paste. So Kedusha is something which is elastic. So comes Marzutra, the son of Rav Mori Estravina. True. The Torah says Chetzi Isha, Isha Chetzi Isha. The Torah says the power of the should make the calories be spread to the entire body. You know what didn't we learn? Somebody says on an animal, the leg of this animal is going to be elevated sacrifice. The leg is say those opinion in Masechet Zvorim that says that she doesn't become the animal fully oila. It doesn't spread. It's only when the Kedusha took effect and the limb that the neshama of the animal is not the. If you sanctify part of the animal which the soul is depending on it, the whole will spread. It's the same thing as here. Since he's Mekadesh Chetzi Isha, he cut the woman to half, any way half. Any way, from up to down, from the side, whatever he cut the woman to half. No, but Chetzi by the definition is going to die. The Mishnah calls it meguyad. If somebody's may testify that he found the husband meguyad. What does meguyad means? Chatuk to half. Or vayeshasef Shmuel esagag. What is vayeshasef? He took a knife and he cut him to half. To be a very strong man. Half. Vayeshasef. Meguyad. Very hard to do. Very hard to take a sword and cut a person from top to bottom halfway. Half falls to the side. Looks like a.
It's part of the Shaolin, Chinese.
That's what I'm saying. The Chinese people used to do that. I don't know Chinese. Chinese can do that. You have to be very strong. Who's Chavez?
No, but the swords are very, very, very.
Some here, yes, but not.
No.
Oh,
Vayeshasef ככה, בעמידה.
Meguyad is, that's what it means.
כאילו חצי.
I think so. Meguyad means half. Probably from the head to the bottom. Yeah, I don't know.
Very, very
I don't know
sharp.
the side.
Swords are very, very sharp. That makes a difference.
Very, very sharp and very strong and very big and very heavy. Then you use that as a crate with the energy that you put down on a person and it cuts him to half. Anyhow, so it means chetzi. Chetzi means chetzi. So the Gemara says, you're right. Chetzi means chetzi, but let it still work because the Kiddushin can spread. It's very strange. We're going to have to deal with this. There's other Hashem next Kelik base. Because he really said chetzi isha.
What they said about a cock, that they split them?
Yes, that's what I said. Vayeshasef Shmuel Tagad. Now, it's very strange, but Lemaise, when I did the Maise, I did the Maise in half. And the Haloris took it in half. Just the egg as a power to spread. So it spreads not from my power, but the internal power of a Hegdish. Since it's part of my words, and my words have power to spread, it's considered my Maise somehow. My Haloris. We're going to have to explain that when we get to it. I wrote a book, my book I wrote about it many years ago. I was a young rabbi, and I did when I moved to Zion many years ago. Was it about 30? Wow, many years ago. So I moved out of Zion and I fixed my apartment to Rabbi Chukowski. There was a rabbi named Chaim Chukowski. He was a rabbi. He moved out of Zion, so I moved to his apartment. So I did Chanukas Habayis, and Rabbi Avigdor Leventhal came to the Chanukas Habayis, and he gave me a letter for my book as Askoma, and he wrote me a letter always about what I wrote about the Sugi of Chetzi Isha, how Nifshetu Pshat Toises, how Nifshetu Kiddushi Bekulo. He had his own observation, and I wrote him a letter back, but somehow I didn't save it. I don't know where is the letter and where I wrote it back. It's gone. But anyhow, maybe he has it, but I don't have it. Anyhow, explain this concept. This we have to work on it.
What is the difference in Rashi?
Yes.
Between if we explain like we explained.
Yes.
The chat is that in Rashi that according to Roy Shiva. Yeah.
Yes. Rashi says next to the person Beimehi, the Shalom Magada, the Fikir is Korach v'Mamon Livshay. It's the power in his words. It's considered power in his words.
We say that we can't explain that the chat like in the other case in Rashi, like in the case that in the man. So we explain that he lived when he said Balga.
You have to come into that.
Yeah.
Now you're a woman, we explain there's no way out, only explain half, physically half. Now the half is empty. I leave it on another man. So Gemara has a kasher. True, that's what I said because the problem of Isha Chetzi Isha, and not because she cannot marry two men, but let it be spread mitzad the power. It's the Kiddushi. The Kiddushi spreads.
Before the answer, why we can't explain that he means like married with two men?
Yeah. I explain what it means. I understand it's like this. Really, when she said, I want to marry half of you. We have two ways to explain those words, literally or conceptually. Conceptually, we have a problem. She cannot marry two men. So she didn't mean to say, my whole family be for two men.
He didn't.
He didn't mean to say that she will be married to two men because she's not. She cannot marry him. 1 second. Therefore, we explain half. Now that he explained half, she meant half. But there's a power in his words. Once I said words of Kedusha, now those words, the Ma'amar is on his own, and on its own can spread. And therefore will spread. And I have a full woman, although I said Chetzi woman, and I'm Mishayah, the other half of somebody else. The Torah says Isha lechetzi Isha. But since the power of my words can spread it, so therefore I will have a full Isha only for one Isha Ish Echot. Because Pastor Kedusha Bekula, and they cannot marry the two men. So although I knew that I cannot marry two men, I meant Chetzi, but the same power I also built in my words, opposite power. And the Chetzi will be Minu. So it will be somehow overcomes the two meaning, because he said Chetzi. It cannot be for two men, because Isha Betrelo Chazi. It actually means Chetzi literally, but also the power of Chetzi Isha has a Ukdush in it, and it will be spread for a while. I will not overcome that. That we have to explain. We learn being in this other.
I didn't get the answer of why I didn't explain my question. What I'm saying is, man of Kemine or Rashi.
Yes.
Rashi, if we explain that the Shanta Pashut, the meaning.
Yes.
Let's say that he mean that. He mean Palga. It's that you gonna marry two men. Let's say like that. Anyway, that's the word. So man of Kemine explain like that. Or explain it, no, that it's that he didn't mean that, and it's Palga, and then Azuka, whatever. What's the nafkamina? You can explain.
So both doesn't work. Since
why
my
because one woman to two men doesn't.
These are both cannot work.
Yeah. So
that's Eilim Kodeshes?
Yeah. No, it's impossible that the kavod of the husband was Palga, I leave Palga because you can marry another man. Why not? Let's say that it's a marriage. Let's say that it covered. And anyway, it won't. So what's the chrea to explain this in this book?
Very good. I think Rashi bothered your question. Rashi was bothered. Rashi answers that this is fundamental. This is halachic. Isha Betre is fundamental. Even Amaretz knows that. It's a nature. So he says that's definitely out. The only thing is Chetzi Isha. Chetzi Isha is an apostle. He doesn't hold the droshes. Then the Gemara Mazut Reis, then it be spread. You see by Raglo Shalu Oilo, then it be Oilo, he says Kulam Oilo, spreads. Me Domi the more answers. No similarity. Or some Behema, by oil that is spreads. Because when I say the heart of this animal, the liver, this animal be kodesh, then the kedusha spreads. Who stands against me not to agree? The animal? Animal is an animal. It's like it's a das. But here, yes, but the husband, who says you only want half and not the other?
Now you're saying that
who says he has an opposite rotzim? He has a rotzim for the heart, for the liver, for the leg.
That's it.
He didn't say, I don't want the other half. I don't want to spread.
I don't want that here. He says here.
He didn't say he doesn't want the other half.
He doesn't want.
The heart and the liver. And since everything belongs to him, no animal belongs to him, there is no das against it to Me'ake, because the das is the animal. The animal's not Me'ake. So only he himself, he didn't say opposite. So there's a power in his word to spread. It wouldn't work. If we would say, that's the animal, what do you mean works against it? It says, we also you want to say, okay, but although there's pain, but you have the dasaches of me myself, the Magdish. You know, you don't say because I'm an opposite das.
What is the das acheres in the case of the woman?
Case of a woman?
Like in our case.
Yes.
What is the das acheres here? What would be the das acheres?
The woman, yes.
And what the woman doesn't want to do?
She agrees to what he's saying.
She's agreed.
Yes.
So what's the problem? It's not acheres.
So I explain this slogan. This is the Amkis. They say that when the man says half in his koyak in his words to spread, as if I know I spread pepper gas on you, I can allergy can create allergies and spread your whole body. Although I did on your eyes, that's part of it. Although I did the prayer, I sprayed on your eyes, but your whole body will be shut down because the pepper gas has the power to spread your skin. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's what it's part of my mese. Yeshkoch v'ma'amoy. Matzah b'ay be'im yeshkoch v'ma'amoy, because there's nobody to prevent it. And I'm my son, my Magdish, it's part of what I want. He said, but I only said the heart, the liver. It doesn't matter. But I know that when I said the heart, I said the word kedusha, there's a power in my words, kedusha of the heart to spread, which is part of my will. See, the words of kedusha to spread. You never buy kedusha alone. You have to have this woman. So therefore, you can't say it's built in. It's not built in. And the word Aram Mekudesh is kedusha, it's built in to spread. It depends on another person and the way they agree. Well, I said the heart, I said the liver, I didn't say the whole body. So if I want the whole body, I'll say the whole body. The other hand, use the word kedusha on the heart and the liver. And it's built in the power of in this mama, kedusha it's elastic. So I say, I put a disease on your heart, on your head, on your eyes. But disease spreads. That's part of when you put, doesn't matter where you put it, where you designate it, you know that really it spreads. You do that. You don't do an opposite nice, it's not to spread, it won't spread. It's part of the crack of his mama. It's first, there's caught to spread. Yeah, she only hears and agrees to what you say, not in the power of Kedusha. He said, what's that about? She knows Kedusha spends. No, she knows Kedusha spends. If you're the bite on your mind, the Kedusha cannot expand if it depends on me. So it depends on me that I only agree to what you said. And since I didn't agree to what you did not say, you can't say, oh, I agreed to be married with Kedusha that has the power to spread. Power to spread, I agree to it. So there is not power there. In myself, I didn't know. He said, we
say that the woman doesn't want, she's not agreeing to this purpose. Why would we say she wants to get married?
No, she'll agree or not agree. It's not the right. You can't say it's koch b'ma'amuri. It's power in his will built in to spread. Let's see it inside. Me inside would be easier. How she explains it.
And
One
it
second.
says, yes. And the shutaf is agreed. And even he help. He doesn't spray to other animals. What? No, let's say that. Let's say that he's agreed.
The time of the day, this works. Yeah.
But here also, the woman
Yes.
also is agreeing.
No, she didn't agree. Because
Because
but he said half. She agreed to half. The words pushing Hegdish on half as the power to spread. True, the power depends on you, but that depends on me. She made him. I'm involved. You have to ask me before that. There's not power to spread. She made. I didn't receive the words which have power to spread because it depends on me too. That's what Rashi explains. Bidomi. Some being no das akeres. Alo Daniel to shoot. Sanctified. Do so. Kadosh when a krema. It's holy, but it's not correct. It cannot be why. Or so tomorrow you can do exchange. The boss Heitzebot, there's only Kedushas Domim. If you do tomorrow, you know what tomorrow means? If you an exchange, you want to exchange with another animal, kind of chalipin. So it does tomorrow. But tomorrow's a Heitzebot, similar to that, there's only Kedushas Domim because it's only half. You bought the other half. Altogether I have a full animal. True. Now I have a full animal. But when you bought half, and you magnish half, you own half, and you magnish half, the words of Hegdish didn't have the power to expand. So Mele, it stays to Kedushas Domim, and therefore it doesn't work. Shmami not lat balechai nitchi. What is a balechai? Can be pushed away. There's not a hoyle mizbeach. Cannot be as a Kedushas Aguf. Only Kedushas Domim. Shmamino dichui mikora vedichui. Once as we get pushed off in the beginning, it's pushing to be fixed. Shmamino is dichui midomim. We can hear from it. There's a push off in money. But Rashi, let's say Rashi. We'll finish with this. Osam beimai. No, that's not nifshir kedusha bekula. Ki omar chetziach mekudesh asli. Do mekudesh rosh and hegdash komal. When he says half of you mekudesh to me. Since the Mekudesh is the language of Hegdish, then it's spread. Afinu man omer pluktam esagdmur osam beima. Osam beima he v'shelohi. There it's an animal belongs to him. Ve'ein le'akev Kaddish. There's no protection from him to be Kaddish totally. Therefore, yeshkor. There's a power in his words. Expand. A woman is an equal das, important like him to decide it will spread or not. She doesn't want. So therefore, she only heard half of what she wanted. The words of the power didn't expand. That's not true. His words can expand if the Balabai. But in his words, by me cannot because I'm the Balabai. So his words can't say has power to expand. Because it doesn't have power unless I agree. So it doesn't have power. So you can't say it's built in. It's not built in. I only heard half. I agree to that. Therefore his words not grab her to expand. Doesn't mean how any more his words not be how to expand for a whole. Okay, we'll stop here. So people have to see the next Gemara. Let's see those Gemaras.
Tomorrow, do you want us to come in from Meitzad? Tomorrow, Meitzad.
Rabbi, why not?
Well, there's a question about the war, isn't it? Rav Yitzchak.
That's my answer. If Bikud Alef allowed it to travel. If there's the army,
What?
if the army to travel, it's okay. If not, you can't travel. So,
With the army of the country or the army of Meitzad?
I don't know. You don't travel out.
What, say it again?
Now that could be because You go to Efrat, they allow you to Efrat, you not to travel.
I don't know.
First of all, you're not clear at all. You're not, your last while you haven't been coming out clear. Number one. Number two, I haven't seen any buses. So if there's no buses,
Right.
that means it's
Okay, the Picud Aleph allows you come, if not you. Can't change the rules of danger, of precaution, of zehirus. Okay. Rabbi Hanania ben Akash Yoimen. רוצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזעקו את ישראל לפניקה. עיר באינטרנט של למעלה קובץ המאנצי, קוי, התוירו מעטי. Dale means kadei, shemei nabo. What you say, say, I am calling you in the Beis Yisrael.